And go times.
And thank you for listening. Bye.
Yeah, and that's
Wait,
it, everybody.
You did hit record, right?
Oh no, don't pretend like we've gone through the recording and now we've ended it. We've never
Fine,
ended
let's
that
do
officially.
it all again. Ugh.
Louise, we didn't even... Don't mislead the audience on such a wonderful day. Actually, I don't know if it's wonderful or terrifying that this is the 100th podcast that I've recorded. No, not recorded. Edited for you guys. Jesus.
Congratulations, man.
Tell Jim and TJ that they owe me big time.
Yeah, just 10,000 more to go, and you'll be half of your contract off.
Woohoo! So. That means I can retire with a chocolate bar. Hooray!
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Shifty podcast. I'm Luis, aka SpartanSloth, and today we have...
the other guy. Yeah, it's me, Tyler. Hi. Fucking...
Ta-da!
I'm not used to doing it with just two people. It's weird.
Yeah, a few things to explain.
Where is this desert? Why is there no one around? Why is it just me and Luis in the sound booth today?
This week was really weird for setting up the recording. So TJ just told me he wouldn't be able to show up for some reason. And I was also notified that I'll be traveling completely out of the blue, so I'm not at home right now. I'm at my uncle's house, so if I sound different, it's because I'm not going full-on SpartanSloth, because I don't know if I can without disturbing people.
There's a difference, like there's a full-on SpartanSloth, and there are other different velocities of SpartanSloth. What?
I guess so, or maybe it's just a matter of me warming up. I don't know. I just hope no one bashes into the door like, "Yo, what you doing?" And I'm like,
hey,
well,
why are you talking to this matey from the UK? What's that all about?
Yeah. Now, I already explained to them that I have a podcast, but I'm pretty sure they won't check it out, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And also, I have my allergies fucking me up again, so that's always cool.
Is it just like pollen in the air or something else? Dust. Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? You should stop messing with Weishni's collection of dust. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yeah, I'm just waiting until we reach Blake, and then like everything goes downhill.
See, you started it. You started it this time. By the way, I haven't been able to see it yet because I'm not a sponsor, but apparently there's a box involved in the next Ruby Chibi, so yay. It has Blake
the box guy.
Yeah. Right.
Speaking of boxes...
the box guy. Great segue.
Yes. So, fuck, this is the fucking worst segue ever. But anyway...
We've seen worse. But yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, fuck you. So... As our listeners may or not know, we are trying to work with topics. And by the way, I think we should... Have I mentioned this on recording? Explained it?
What, the topics?
Yeah.
You know what? I could have sworn you have, but just do it again just to be sure.
Fuck it, listen again. Yay.
Yeah.
So yeah, just in case you missed it, we are trying to work with topics now, so we don't wander off in case we get lost with all the topics we have on our heads and stuff. So every week around Monday or Tuesday, we will post on the RT site and on Twitter the topics for that week. And then if you want to join the conversation, you just need to leave us a comment or tweet us back or send us a DM on our Twitter account, which is @theshiftykeys. And you can be in the episode. And then we'll send you the details and stuff like recording gear and stuff.
And even if you can't be in the episode, feel free to suggest like stuff that we should talk about because
oh yeah,
it's weird trying to come up in advance with topics that will be relevant the week it comes out, if you know what I mean. Like,
So, yeah, go on.
Oh, I was just about to say, like, one of the topics we could have talked about is, like, Euro 2016 is going to be starting this week. Except, while we're recording this, it's not coming out this week. It's coming out at the time it's released. It's hard to think that way, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to aim for, like, current news, but the current news either are way too in advance or way too old by the time they're released. So, you know, if you guys want to suggest even stuff that is not current, like Tyler's most amazing poop story or something, feel free to do it. And he will talk all about his pooping habits.
I don't think I would have anything especially amazing, and especially with that. That's disgusting.
What he wants you to think.
That's nasty.
Nasty. Yeah. But anyway, so speaking of current news, see, that's a segue.
God.
One of the topics was Overwatch, and I don't know about you, Tyler, but I have seen a lot of stuff about Overwatch on my Twitter feed. Like, holy fuck, it got to the point that I started dreading Overwatch. It's like people are talking so much about it, I'm starting to hate it. But I did some research and, you know, changed my mind a bit. Yes, you were about to say something. You had your...
Oh, no. It may be that the microphone that I'm using is picking it up a bit clearer. But with Overwatch, when you said about the Twitter feed, that putting you off of it, from what I've seen, I follow a lot of artists and people that draw stuff and create fan art and stuff. Let me just say that Tracer is currently everywhere in my feed at the moment. Like, it's not even a joke. And that actually got me interested in Overwatch, because I was like, okay, apparently this character is British. I need to see if they have a British accent or, something authentic, because I hear so many Americans try doing, like, a British accent and they
fail miserably.
They fail miserably sometimes because they either overdo it or they just make it stereotypical, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, some people were complaining about her accent, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's what you would expect, like, typical British women to sound like at all, but if they were going for, like, the old-timey British, we're talking, like, closer to the war kind of time, it's just pretty impressive. Like, it kind of matched the character. I
really?
It. Huh. That's only a personal opinion. I know a lot of people out there that's like, hey, that's not what British women sound like. Yeah, well,
I mean, I wouldn't know. I'm not a British woman, so...
No. Really? That's the only reason why I've been doing this podcast. Well, I'm outies. 100 episodes later, and the truth comes out, doesn't it, Louise?
So it was interesting to me because, like I said, it got to the point like people were talking about it so much, I was starting to get annoyed at it. But then, since it was being a big topic, I was like, well, let's talk about it on the podcast. And I did some research, and Vic pointed something out that I have to wholeheartedly agree with her. The marketing for that game was amazing. Like, I watched a few videos, and I want to play Overwatch now. Like, it worked, you know?
I haven't played the game. I mean, I'm not even going to hide the fact that I haven't played the game. I haven't played the game. I haven't had the time. But I saw the cinematic trailer and, like, the movies that they put out. I want them to release an animated film. Fuck the game. I mean, it looks like something Pixar or DreamWorks or heck, even Disney would have created at one point, like with the 3D animation stuff. It's actually incredible.
It's got adventure and shooting and stuff, but it's also like the characters are... I don't know, there's something about the characters that they're not just stereotypical FPS characters, like shoot baddies and be slightly sarcastic or cynical, and that's it.
like an army soldier that, like every other army soldier in the game is slightly desaturated and stuff. Yeah, I kind of get what you mean.
Yeah, they have some depth to them, which is also a bit of a shame that it's only a multiplayer game. Like, doesn't have a single player mode or a campaign going deeper into the the story of the Overwatch
Who
universe.
knows? Anything is possible these days with DLC. So who knows?
Well, yeah. It's just a fucking DLC.
It might be the opposite of GTA 5.
Yeah.
Well, get the campaign and then the online.
Actually, right. Okay, now I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully. According to my research, they do plan on expanding, like putting some more characters and more maps, but for free. So it's like the GTA DLC, they'll come in patches and you don't have to pay more for that. Apparently. I hope so. Because that's the kind of DLC I can get behind,
That's the kind of DLC you'll, stand up and celebrate alongside and not run out with a pitchfork. Yeah, like, there's only one thing that kind of made me very curious about that game, and believe it or not, it's with the Tracer character. One of the powers, if I'm not misled, because as I said, I haven't played it. Tracer's power, like one of the powers, is that she can rewind time. How does that work in an online multiplayer game? Like, does everyone's character have to stop and go back a couple seconds, or is that something that's just in the cinematic trailer?
I have no idea. I haven't played the game either. TJ has played the game, so if you were here...
TJ, when you listen to this, when you put it up on YouTube, leave us a comment and tell us what the fuck happens. Or
only TJ was here. But
I cry every time.
Maybe it doesn't happen in the game. Like, she does seem like she can quickly teleport, from point A to point B, like really short distances and stuff, but I have no idea how it works.
Yeah, it's a shame that I haven't played it, because it's so colourful, and for an FPS, first person shooter or whatever, it's brought in a lot of these things that are very different. To be honest, I think actually that I probably wouldn't enjoy the gameplay of it, but I would enjoy the premise and the concepts of it, because it looks insane. Like, looking at the gameplay trailer and all the stuff that all the different characters can do, I feel like I wouldn't know where to look to shoot at things. But I am a sucker for a good concept. Hence why I really, really like Skullgirls. But yes, continue.
Yeah, apparently Blizzard, according to some headlines I read, they are making up the story as they go. So that is maybe one of the reasons why they didn't go for a campaign, right off the bat, because they're still creating the stories. And so the cinematics that they're releasing, or they have released, at least so far, that is as much story as they have released to the public. Although it seems like there's going to be comic books and stuff, so, maybe we can find out more about it. I do like the concept, though. It does seem really interesting.
Yeah. I just really wonder where the story's going to go. Like, because when it's announced, like, all the characters seem like good guys, don't they? Besides, like...
No.
Well, no. Like, they're all part of the Overwatch, aren't they? All of them. That's what I'm led to believe. And then you've got Reaper and Widowmaker. The ones that stand out.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
There's like the Spider Chick and the Reaper guy.
They look like baddies, but I'm sitting there thinking to myself, were they on the Overwatch as well? Or were they just always baddies?
Maybe they were part of the Underwatch.
Dun dun dun.
Ew.
Sequel. Hey, if you ever need a prequel, yeah? Blizzard, you know who to call. Luis.
You're welcome.
If it actually, like, a few years down the line, like, Underwatch comes out, I need to remember what podcast you brought this up on, so we can be like, aha, we knew it was coming.
On my royalties.
I'm gonna sue you. That's something we can talk about that's not on the topics list, by the way. Have you heard of FUPA?
No. FUPA?
FUPA. FUPA. I forget what it stands for exactly, but it's the first two letters, the most important ones, are fair use. And it's a big thing on YouTube at the moment. I don't know if you would have caught it because you said you were on vacation.
Yeah, I've been off the grid for like 3 days by now.
Have you heard of H3H3 Productions?
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell, sorry. But do explain. I mean, maybe I just didn't get it.
They made a video, and they used other people's content in it. And it was clearly in a way to comment on it, which is covered by fair use. And they are being sued, like big money. Like they are being taken to court by somebody. The person, I can't remember the name of the... I'm the worst person for a podcast right now, aren't I? It's like I'm talking about these things that I haven't played or can't remember.
Well, I'm in the same boat, so shut up.
Yeah. But yeah, H3H3 Productions is getting sued by whoever made that material. And it was only like 3 minutes of it they showed in like an 11-minute video. And like this person's claiming that all their popularity came from the video. They want half the monetization. They want half the money they've earned from GoFundMe or Kickstarter, even though they've never used Kickstarter.
Damn, dude.
Like, it's pretty crazy that it's going to court because it's so clearly fair use that it's unreal. But yeah, that H3H3 Productions, they asked for help in a video. They put out a video saying that we're being sued and we need some help. And it wasn't like a call for help and crying for attention. It was them explaining what the situation was. And then like at the end of the video, they were like, and we need some help. I shit you not, yeah. The amount of money they've earned in like a day is unreal. They've got like $100,000 already in a day. Like Ray Narvaez Jr. has donated to them, Notch has donated to them, PewDiePie's donated to them, Fine Bros have donated to them, and what they're creating with that money, even though they haven't won or lost the case yet that they got involved with in the first place, they're getting lawyers together to make a group that will stand for like these small YouTubers when their stuff gets taken down, even though it's fair use.
No, that's great.
I was like, oh shit, finally something that might actually help people in like the stupid copyright strike scenarios, if you know what I mean. When people abuse their powers.
Where's Matt Murdock when you need him?
Yeah. And I liked what one of the lawyers said. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Geek Attorney, as he's known as on Twitter. I think it was him. It might have been the other one, which I can't remember the name of. I'm sorry.
Congratulations.
He put out as a tweet before like any of this got huge. He put out as a tweet, it's not every day where your client breaks YouTube. I was like, oh yeah, that's true. They really made a difference, huh? If this all goes ahead, and hopefully they win their court case because...
Hopefully. Good luck to them.
It sounds ridiculous. Like, if you... Then again, we've only heard one side of the story, but the other side isn't commenting. So...
According to what you just described, I mean, it's a huge thunderstorm in a glass of water,
Yeah. Like, all this is allegedly going down, and allegedly... Just put allegedly wherever you want, but... I allegedly believe that H3H3 Productions have nothing to worry about in court. That's if they don't throw it out of court immediately. It sounds ridiculous that they're being dragged into court for this. But yeah, That was something that came up only a couple days ago. So I couldn't even suggest it as a topic.
Yeah, and by thunderstorm, a glass of water, I mean like the people who are suing, for like 3 minutes and for fair use. Just, man, YouTube has been going crazy recently.
Yeah. It made me laugh because in the video I was watching from their channel, they put up like a artist depiction, like a drawing of the person that's suing them. And in the bottom corner, it said in big bold writing to give credit to the artist, Psychic Pebbles, which is an animator that I've known for a long time. Not on a personal level, I've known their work for a long time. And I was like, oh shit, is this about Psychic Pebbles? Are you suing each other? Jesus Christ, this is getting crazy. Like the YouTube drama bells was ringing in my head. Like, apparently, no. He only drew the artwork. I checked his Twitter as well, and it was like, it's unreal the amount of people that believe I'm the one suing them. I was like, well, they did give you credit for the artwork, but it's crazy how it's accidentally misled people.
Yeah.
I'm so glad it's not them two suing each other.
And speaking of copyright strikes and going back a little bit to Overwatch, I remember I read an article on PC Gamer that Blizzard has been taking action to remove all sorts of Rule 34 Overwatch videos.
Wow, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, because apparently there were big spikes in searches on porn sites for Overwatch.
Now, how would you know that, Luis?
Because I read the fucking article, and I think there's a video on the Know as well. I did a lot of research, and not quote-unquote research, actual research.
He did first-hand research.
Oh. Wink. And so, apparently one of the reasons that they claim in the article, they think might be the explanation is that some of the animations and models and stuff were being taken directly from the game files. So that's why they were suing. Removing those.
They're fine with it unless it's actually the assets that they used in the game.
No. I'm not saying that. It's what they think could be the reason. I don't know. Blizzard hasn't pronounced themselves yet. Yeah, so Blizzard hasn't said a word about it yet. As far as I've read it, so... Maybe they have said something by now, but I don't know.
That must be a battle, because I'm not being funny. Anything on the internet's got Rule 34 of it, so I don't know how long they can counteract it for. It feels like you could take something down and the next day someone else has either re-uploaded it or someone's made something completely new. So, good luck with that, Blizzard. I don't know if you can win that battle. Ew. That must be a handful to deal with. I didn't even mean to make the unintentional handful joke there, but...
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, as I said it, I was like, no, I didn't even mean it. But, yeah, I would not want to be the guy in charge of finding this stuff and getting rid of it. Can you imagine the dodgy websites you'd have to go on?
Yeah, like someone knocks at the person's door and it's like, what? Why are you looking at porn while at work? I swear to God, this is my job.
Yeah, he's actually got a legitimate reason. He has to keep on explaining it every day to everyone in the office.
Boss said if I didn't do it until today, I'd be fired. Judge.
Yeah. He's like
3 screens up.
He's like, look, this is my job. I'm not enjoying it. I get paid for this. This is what I do. What's that empty box of tissues doing over there? Nothing.
It's for crying. Yes, crying. Yeah. I cry a lot.
I cry every time I have to delete one of these.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's an insane thing to think of. I would not want to be that team. I can't imagine it's just one dude in a basement somewhere doing this. You know, I can imagine it's like a team of developers and programmers being like, can you just take this shit down?
You know, it must be a huge legal battle, you know, the whole thing.
They could probably just like contact whoever hosts the site and be like, look, if anything turns up with the name Overwatch, can you moderate it and just not upload it or not let it process or something? I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a hassle in itself. Like, oh, okay, who runs this site? Let's get the number and then let's call that person.
Yeah, but it's a lot less hassle than trying to sift through millions of videos.
Yeah, I mean, we're just daydreaming about jobs. Yes.
Luis, is that your dream job?
No. Next topic.
No. Like completely unconvincing
notes.
Yeah. I found 5 more. Maybe I could be in charge of that team.
Yes. Also, my resume said I found 13 different Rule 34 sites. Yes, I was.
Imagine going up to Blizard. I reckon you should employ me because I found 5 different videos of Rule 34 stuff featuring Tracer, and I got it down before anybody else did. You're welcome.
All right. As for the next topic, I kind of need to apologize, actually.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, last time we talked about games with gold, I was shitting on the games they were offering for May, seeing that I wasn't too impressed with Defense Grid and Defense Grid, actually, and Costume Quest. And I mean, they're nice, actually. They're no AAA titles, but Defense Grid was enjoyable, but didn't last too long. And Costume Quest was surprisingly enjoyable. Like, I thought it was gonna be like Zeroes, which was a huge piece of flaming turd. But no, it was pretty enjoyable. It was well made, you know, it had a simple yet entertaining concept to it, you know. The battle system was alright, so, you know, nothing bad about the game. And it was an easy 1,000 gamer score, so...
Oh, that's why you enjoyed it, huh?
Yeah, not just because of that.
Oh,
it had some good jokes, too.
Well, you know, it kind of teaches you to, like, maybe try the games out before we comment on them being, being like, oh man, it was so disappointing this month. These games are terrible. Sounds like you enjoyed them, so...
Yeah, but sometimes they're right. Like with Zeroes. Fucking Zeroes, man.
Hey, I say it every time it comes up. They can't release, you know, games for free, you know, that are high quality all the time.
But fucking Zeroes, man. But yeah. And now for June, they're gonna release some titles that people have said they're good. I haven't played any of those, but we'll see. It's Goat Simulator, which was a big deal back when it was released.
Oh my god, really? Goat Simulator?
Yeah. Guess what I'm gonna spend my whole free time playing now.
That's a sheep. I'm sorry.
There's also The Crew, and I haven't played The Crew. I know that it got some mixed reviews, so we'll see about that. There's Super Meat Boy, which...
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was kind of a big deal. Apparently, it's super fucking hard.
Yeah, it's like... You need to have, like, incredible reaction time to, like, do anything. And the patience of a saint.
Well, and XCOM Enemy Unknown. They released XCOM 2, and people have been saying like it's a great game and all, so maybe XCOM, the Enemy Unknown is it's a good one. We'll see.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good for June.
Yeah. I mean, they actually leaked something that was gonna be like, oh, we're gonna have Red Dead Redemption and BioShock Infinite, and I almost jizzed my pants. But it was not true, unfortunately.
Nah, I don't think they would put out like 2 massive games together, if you know what I mean. You know, I'm not saying that they won't do one of them, but doing two of them in the same launch is probably overkill.
Yeah.
They might save that for December, for the old Christmas. Who knows?
I cry every time.
Yeah, like, do you indulge often with Games of Gold? Like, do you do it like every month, or is there months where you just sit there and go, fuck this, and don't even bother?
I mean, like I told you guys on previous podcasts, I don't really call them like totally free games because I pay the live subscription. So unless it's a game that I am really, really, really not interested in, I get them all to try them at some point. So I just save them up in my queue, and then when I'm done with a game, I'm like, okay, let's pick a quote-unquote new one. And then I get one of the titles that I already got from Games of Gold. The only time I actually skipped on one I could get, because there was a time they were offering the 360 ones, but the backwards thingy wasn't available yet, so I had to skip those. But the only time I really was like, yep, I could get this one, I'm not gonna, was the Pool FX game.
Oh yeah, where it came out all the time.
Not happy with that one. Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 months of that one.
Did they ever make any money on that kind of like game? Because it sounds to me like if anyone was ever interested in it, they could have just got it for free anyway. You know?
I mean, same thing for iDarb. iDarb was released and immediately it was a Games of Gold title. And, you know, it seemed like they did well for themselves, I would assume. But I don't know how that'll work because maybe Microsoft offers them a big bucks deal, or I don't know, magic.
Or they have like adverts embedded somewhere, so they might make their money that way. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like how Flash games make their money, you know, and it's like, oh, do they do that on the Xbox? I suppose they could. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know how they would be able to pull off that because it's not really my area of expertise, but it has a lot of integration with Twitter, and there are some featured teams. One of them is Oddworld Inhabitants. Like, they made 8-bit characters of some of their characters, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So there's like Abe and Slick and Moloch the Glutton and a bunch of others. And there is for other games as well, like Dark Dreams Don't Die and I forgot the other one. But there's a bunch of, you know, other franchises in there. Oh, including Halo. Halo's there too.
Ooh, Halo. It might be a Microsoft endorsed thing then, perhaps.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe. Yeah.
What about you? Have you ever like definitely skipped one, or do you often skip them?
I often skip them, so much so that I've never actually done a Games of Gold. Yeah. Unless I have in the past and I've just forgotten about it. But yeah, I can't remember ever really doing one. I don't really know why. I just guess, like...
Yeah.
I'm just not interested.
I mean, the way I do it so that I don't have to, like, download it and then delete it and, you know, all that hassle, at least it always worked for me, is I go to the Xbox website, log in with my account, go to the Games of Gold tab, and then I can just quote-unquote purchase the game, but, you know, it's for free, so you don't really pay anything. At least I hope, otherwise I'm fucked. And you can get them added to your library without having to download them, you know, so then you can play them whenever you like.
Yeah, the problem is with, like, my console is that it's shared, and it's technically not my console. The Xbox One is in my brother's room, and yeah, if he's in, I just let him, you know, play it, because yeah, he comes back home from work, and I kind of know the work industry that he's in now a little bit, because, like, I work in a kitchen, but he works in a kitchen, you know, like, he would put me to shame. So yeah, I can't imagine, you know, coming back from that kind of work to see your younger brother on the console when you've had a full day of work from the morning to the evening, you know, like I'm like straight away off that computer. I'm like, yep, look, all yours, you know.
And besides there,
sorry, it continues. Sorry, that was me lagging a little bit on this end, but I was about to say, besides, really, I'm not really that much of like a console player anymore. Like, I'm not saying I switched to PC. You know, I haven't done anything like that, but it's like I will play the occasional game on Steam, and that's it. And I'm satisfied. That's all I need.
I see.
But the occasional GTA game's pretty fucking fun when it's with other people. But yeah,
and besides, there's
solo's boring. Solo is boring. Tell me about it. Ew.
Yeah, playing with yourself, man. Anyway, apparently I'm not sure because I'm like the titular. Is that a word in English? I'm not sure. I'm
titular,
yeah. All right, cool. So I'm the guy of the Gold subscription at home. My sister has an Xbox account, but she barely even uses it. And so if your brother is the one who owns the Gold account, I'm not sure if you can download the games, and it would probably have to be him. I'm not sure how it works. But anyway.
I don't know. I ain't going to be telling him what to do with his money, I can tell you that much.
The Shifty podcast, where you get half information about a lot of things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what everyone subscribes for, right? A half-assed podcast.
By the way, I want to apologize to everyone for putting that Wikipedia link about cognitive dissonance, because I broke my first rule, a personal rule, of going to Wikipedia for scientific stuff. So that article was smelling bad, and I couldn't point my finger at what, but then I figured it's Wikipedia, so...
Well, it got the... for the audience that are listening to this podcast and not the previous one, we brought up cognitive dissonance. And we were going over like the different definitions of what that actually is, considering...
And I was really bugged by it.
Yeah. Considering there's like a media term, kind of, and then there's, of course, the professional psychology term. You know, and it was like, well, what's the difference? You know, is there a difference? Is there articles on this? If you link to Wikipedia, as long as it's not like clearly people editing in a bunch of jabbled gobbledygook, then, you know, then I think you're safe for now.
Cognitive dissonance is when you put a horse mask and you do porn videos, according to Wikipedia.
I mean, if you read something like that, then that's ridiculous.
Then you cannot trust it. But, yeah, well, still, I learned the lesson again of taking things with a grain of salt.
Ah, jeez, that's a big grain of salt.
Like an entire salt mine.
What's the third topic that you have here? Because you suggested this one. Pint of Science.
I'm surprised you didn't know about it, because it's something that started in England.
Hey, look, I don't drink anymore, and I've never been really a huge science guy. Like, there are some factors of science that amaze me, but if you sat me down to do a science exam, I would probably fail it.
Yeah, but you're English.
The two things that are in the title are things that are hardly relevant to me anymore. There's a lot of things that are English.
Tyler, please, are you going to tell me you're not friends with the Queen?
No. Me and her don't see eye to eye anymore ever since the incident. I once tripped over, fell forward, and showed her my ass crack. It was so embarrassing that she threw me into the dungeon, and I just accepted it. I don't know where that voice came from, by the way.
It sounds like you're from some sort of BBC documentary.
David Attenborough.
Oh, man. Oh, anyway.
Queenie, no. I swear I'm sorry. That's my next path in life. I'm going to get into voice acting. With that exact voice.
So, So, Pint of Science is a thing that started in England, and it's pretty much like they take researchers from all sorts of areas, and they go to pubs or cafes or whatever to talk about their work, and while people can go there and just have a drink and chat with them.
My God.
And yeah, it's a pretty cool concept actually, because then they go there, they talk a bit about what they do, and then people can ask questions and exchange ideas and stuff.
Of course, this is something made in the UK. This smells of Great Britain right here. This is one of those, hey, let's get together and have a drink and tell everybody else that we are doing something professional while we're at it. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure it's super interesting, and a lot of connections could probably be made this way.
I want to say it sounds really Brazilian as well.
Yeah, but I could just imagine a load of scientists being like, "Oh yeah, here's my project, and now that I've shown you this, who's up for some bevs?"
Ew.
Brewskis, a whole rave starts out with scientists in white coats dancing around. My imagination today.
Instead of glasses or pint glasses, you're drinking out of test tubes.
Everybody's doing shots. And someone fucks up one day and it's actually a chemical. Oh man, that wasn't fucking Jägermeister. What was it? The guy just melts from the inside. Oh my God. That is sad and funny. Hopefully, hopefully that actually is a lot more professional than we're making it out to be.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I went to just one. It was a 3-day event in 3 different bars, and each bar here in town, they had different lectures, so to say.
Mm.
And so I went to one, and holy fuck, the place was crowded.
Nice.
I did something that you would probably have died right there on the spot, Tyler. I sat at a stranger's table. I was like, "Hey, can I share a table with you?" And the person was like, "Yeah." So I sat down.
Luis being, talkative to strangers. It's not like you've never done that before. I mean, look, you run a podcast. Look, but you run a podcast where you've had to talk to strangers before. People that you've never been introduced to before, and then had to sit there for an hour and a half with them.
Well, yeah, I mean, but still, it's a sort of experience that, man, it's different. Anyway, the lecture was pretty cool, but it got to a point.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
This table you sat down at.
Yes.
It
was a table made of wood.
Yes. On a scale of, a percentage. On a percentage here. How many of these people were women?
The table I sat?
Yeah.
Well, wait. How should I go for the percentage? Out of all the other people in the table, I don't get in the percentage that I should discount from.
Yeah, just on the table, because I can imagine something in my head. I can imagine you walking over and just being like, "Ha, ladies." That was really out of character.
Well, you'd be surprised. It was 100%. Because apart from me, the other person at the table was a chick. So.
Hey, get in there. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, she wasn't my type.
Well, she was a scientist, so she knows. You know that she's smart. Maybe.
Well,
she could have just been a random there.
It wasn't like a rave with people doing drugs with their butts. So.
I don't think they would even do that at a rave.
Have you ever been at a rave?
Yes, but never anything like that.
Oh, wait a second. I'm gonna tell this story, pal.
I was a uni student. What did you think happened?
I haven't been to a rave. I went to parties, but not to raves.
Well, it wasn't anything that I did on the regular. I think I maybe went once or twice during the first year, and that was it.
Tyler, you a party animal.
Yeah, a lot of things have changed in the last 3 years. I quit drinking.
You stopped doing drugs with your butt.
Ah, that's why I must have quit drinking. I realised how good that shot of the ass was. Don't take that out of context. Oh god, Tyler, edit that out. Oh, man. There's always a part of me when I say stuff like that where I'm like, oh god, if I ever wanted to be like a voice actor or any kind of, I don't know, professional thing where someone can look at my work and be like, oh, this is you. I always worry that I lose out on like job opportunities when something like that slips out. You're like, when you say something but it gets taken out of context and you're like, I swear to you, nothing like that happened.
Show the source material. The thing is, the source material can be even worse.
Ah, boy. To be honest, though, I can imagine if like voice acting was an industry that I wanted to get into, I can't imagine that putting them, like that kind of stuff putting them off, because they're probably listening to your voice more than they're listening to the actual story. Because I've seen some well-respected voice actors that have had some ridiculous roles in some animes. You know, I don't think, you know, Brittany Karbowski being Yamada for Brigada HK has ever hurt her career. Oh, you were saying about the pubs. Yes.
Yes. So, going back to that conversation. Yeah, well, I went there and it was actually pretty interesting. It's an interesting concept, but I'm not sure if I was just too tired, but it got to a point.
Too drunk? Ayo.
Nah, I don't drink either. It got to a point that I was like, okay, it's starting to getting a bit dragged out. And so I went home by the time the questions part started. But it was really interesting. Like, people were in good spirits, you know, and I get it.
Yeah, I get you.
And you know, the audience was actually interested in the whole thing. So it is a sort of thing that I believe should happen more often. You know, science should go outside of the metaphorical walls of university and reach
the
laboratories.
Public.
Yes, and you know, reach the public, other than just, you know, those crazy newspaper headlines. Drinking coffee with your armpits can make your hair grow longer, you know. And when you read the article itself, it's like they took it completely out of the context.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that sort of initiative. You know, it's something that should be done more often.
And I like, as you said, like this filled out, like this was a crowded pub. I like the fact that it's helping out the pub industry as well, because, you know, pubs need help too, filling out and, you know, getting money, and, you know, so it helps out two people, the scientists and the pub.
Yeah. And it's something that, when you say it that way, I haven't thought of it through this angle, but it is a really good thing, because in my city, it's for a long, long time, and I think I bitched about that on the podcast on occasion. There was this big thing with country culture, you know, and pop country and all that shit music. Like kids dressing up as caricatures of cowboys and going to gas stations and, you know, partying there up until late hours of the night and pissing everyone off, you know. Those bullshit. But now apparently things are turning around a bit, because a lot of those craft beer thingies, you know, the craft beer industry, like the not mass produced thing, it's growing a lot in my city. So that's attracting a lot of attention and business and even tourists. So when you make something that leads people to get to meet the services on pubs, you know, that is also good. because that also means a difference in the kind of culture that you're spreading. And the pubs have a lot more of even the musical part of it, because usually they have live music or whatever. It's either rock or sometimes there's like jazz and blues and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a whole other thing. Like things are starting to get good,
There's jazz playing at Brazilian bars? Is that what I'm hearing now?
Yeah, it's it's not as common, but sometimes, yeah.
I want to go down there and just like listen to some soft lounge music, just sitting there drinking like a non-alcoholic cocktail, putting my feet up and be like, yeah, Brazil.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm missing out on something because I haven't actually been to one of the jazz nights, for example. There's a pretty big pub, big as in famous pub in my city that, like, in the middle of the week, they do that sometimes with jazz or blues or whatever.
Cool.
But, it's the middle of the fucking week. It's not like Friday or Saturday. It's like Monday or Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday it's rock. But yeah, maybe I should, take the dive and go there and see how it is, because it is a pretty cool concept.
Yeah, you know that I'm all up for the classy undertones of some jazz. Well, to be honest, I think if you guys ask me what kind of genre of music I like listening to, it could be any of them. But I've always had a soft spot for jazz. I don't know why. There's something very sophisticated about it. Rah! Where's that voice from earlier? Yes, I'm very jazzy about it. Queenie, stop it. I was only listening to jazz. Oh, if the Queen...
You what, mate?
If Her Royal Majesty listens to this podcast by some freak of nature percent, I don't know, odds.
Statistical anomaly.
Yeah. I just don't even know if I can apologise. I'd just be there and I'd have to take it. I would just have to be like, yeah, Queenie, I had to pretend that you threw me into a dungeon. Sorry, Queenie, I won't stop it. Sorry, yawn. It's probably this new microphone that's got me like this. It's the fourth one I have in the house now.
What are you... Are you trying to turn your house into like a reality show?
No.
Mics all around.
I only use like one at a time for podcasts, but this one has been very impressive for me because it's the AT2020. I don't know if that rings any bells with Luis, but for the audience, it might ring a bell. The XLR version, and I remember Mass Halagear Stewart. He's got the USB version of this, and you heard how clear his voice is on the podcast.
Yeah. And,
well, he actually has a better setup than me. I believe he's actually got, like, soundproofing and stuff like that. He wants to know what this kind of sounds like and how I get on with it and this, that, and the other. Let me tell you, Stuart, like, over the podcast, it's pretty good. I do enjoy this quite a lot. This is where I listen back to the podcast and I hear like the quality has like dropped halfway or something on my end, and I'm like, it's really good.
I enjoy it very much.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just one of the problems I had with the Samsung microphone that I got was that it was incredibly. It picks up a lot of the room. In fact, one of the tests that I did was I set up a microphone in my room, set up the Samsung, and then I walked into my sister's room and had a conversation with her, and you could still hear the conversation, like when I listened to it again later.
Damn, dude.
And like we're 2 rooms apart. And I was like, oh shit, that's crazy.
Wait, did your sister know you were using her as a test subject? Knew.
I literally went into the room and said, hey, can I test out my microphone by talking in here with you for a little while?
thought you had gone for something like, "Hello, sister. This is not a rehearsed conversation at all."
No.
Tyler, why are you acting like that? I'm not acting different. You're acting different.
But yeah, funny story. That was kind of the reason why I bought a muffler for the. I call it a muffler. I'm sure that's not the name for it, but it's a little thing that goes over the microphone
It's the
head.
bad name.
Yeah. And fun fact, at the moment, with the microphone I'm using right now, it's currently using my third microphone's muffler while standing on my first microphone stand. I've still got all the accessories for like all the microphones, and they all kind of interlink. So like I can change them all around. It's brilliant. I love it. I'm so glad I didn't throw away my first microphone because it's the first microphone that I was doing podcasts with, because it's still useful.
Meanwhile, I'm still using the same thing I've been using for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I love how I'm like, hey, I've done this podcast, 100 edits of this podcast. I'm going to do something to celebrate. I'm going to splurge and get a decent microphone and some anime. And you're sitting there on episode 121, and you're like, yep, I'm still recording the same way. I did something special for mine. I got a new microphone.
But you see, the thing is, I would love to splurge. I have no idea where to begin with. Like, I don't understand jack shit about microphones. But whenever I decide
I could give you recommendations. What's the one that you use right now?
Shit, son. I can tell you the brand.
the brand, then.
It's a Microsoft Live Chat something.
Okay.
That really helps. You're welcome.
I'm trying to remember what on earth that could be. I'm not even going to type it up on the internet because my internet's too slow to run it right now. But
here, it's a Microsoft Live Chat LX3000.
Is it something that stands alone? Like, is it a USB microphone?
Yes, it's a headset with a microphone, and it's powered by a USB. Yes.
Ah, okay. Oh, sorry, burp. That's the first burp you've heard on the podcast from me on this new microphone.
Celebratory burp, yay!
Yeah, I didn't lift the push to talk button quick enough. But what I would recommend, one of the first ones I got was the Pro Sound. I'm not sponsored by Pro Sound to give this, and I cannot give you the full name because it's like a sentence long. But later on, Luis, I'm going to send you like a link to it, so you can try that out. It would be like the first podcast microphone that I had, and it's only like, I think, £20 when I got it. And it was something like Pro Sound USB podcast microphone 2.0 something. Yeah, I used it for fucking 2 years, and it still works, and it's still consistent. It's pretty good for what you're paying for. But now that I've got a full-time job and a regular slot on some sort of podcast, I might as well do it with some decent production quality, right? Luis?
Well, hey,
who hasn't changed his production quality since he started?
I'm still trying to save money for stuff. I only recently started working. And I get paid by each patient I have. I don't have like a specific salary, but I'm getting there.
Yeah. I've always wondered what microphone TJ has.
It's a TJ Phone 2000.
Damn.
Now the extra TJ.
I'm going to ask him in the Skype chat later. Behind the scenes stuff for the podcast.
Yeah, you're welcome, listeners. Speaking of listeners, should we do some questions?
Hell yeah. I feel like we haven't done questions in an entire week. Sorry.
Yeah, just shut up. So
get out of a guest.
So, Da-da-da-da-da-da-dun. Questions. Oh
I
my
love
God.
how I could actually hear you holding that back because of your new location.
I am holding back so much. I have no idea.
What's the first question? Oh, do you need me to vamp?
Oh, no, I have one here. So this one was sent by Dr. Sparks, and she asked, what's the tallest building you've ever been in, and what floor?
Huh. Probably just the town centre's car parking lot in Reading. I don't recall ever going anywhere particularly high, you know?
Yeah, Tyler, the high guy.
No, in Bristol. No, shit, how's the best way to fucking say this? Bristol is a very hilly city. Yes, with my mouth. Bristol is a very hilly city.
What's a hilly city?
There's a lot of hills in Bristol.
Okay.
I remember going up a few roads to visit somebody, and I remember looking back down, and it was like, I didn't realize it's like a straight up 75-degree climb from where I started. So when I was like upstairs in their room looking down, like it's like, wow, my apartment, the flat that I'm living in, it's like really low down now. Like it made it look super high, even though it was like only the second floor of that place. So I guess that's the highest thing by reference, but if we're talking about from the ground, it's not that high at all.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I'm not sure if I ever went to a very high building that is anything like, oh wow, this is impressive. Like maybe yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I think the highest I went was like the 14th floor of a commercial building, but that was it.
Yeah,
but,
nothing amazing.
Yeah, I mean the tallest place I've been to was a mountain in Chile. Yeah.
Was it cold?
I guess there it was fucking cold, dude, but it was so awesome.
Could you say that it was very chilly?
How about you go fuck yourself, huh? No, that was a good one. I'm sorry.
Get out. No way, come back. I need you.
That was a good one. Yeah, it was really chilly. Jesus Christ, Tyler. Yeah, I think that was the highest point I've ever been to. No joke there. No drug jokes.
Nah. There's a funny way that could change is if I take part in something stupid that a few people I know are doing at the moment. This is an event where they are climbing. Well, no, they're trying to set a record. They're trying to run up like the stairs of the Gherkin Tower, and that would probably qualify as, if I went, the highest place that I would go to, but I'm not particularly interested in that. Which sounds bad because it's for charity, but I was like, look, I don't want to really run upstairs for charity, you know? Like, so here's some money, I've donated it to your cause, you can have fun. Just don't cry to me when you twist your ankle, you know? It sounds a bit crazy. I don't particularly like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that you're only supposed to just walk up it, but some people want to break records and stuff, so it's like, yeah, that sounds a bit stupid and dangerous and whatever.
Well, actually,
Tyler, the no-frill guy.
Tyler, stop being so hardcore. I don't think the audience will be able to take it.
Those days are in the past. They're way behind me now.
I actually went to... Well, it was one thing that surprised me in two ways, actually. It was a riverside lighthouse. First of all, I've never been to a lighthouse, so, that was fun. Second of all, why the fuck would you need a lighthouse by a river?
Yeah, good point.
It was so weird. I even tweeted about it and then I asked my cousin, and she told me that apparently when the proposition for the Lighthouse was moved into the mayor's office, it was like, yeah, well, but who knows if a ship will ever want to sail into a river? It's like, man, it's not even near the ocean.
Who knows? Someone could get lost.
If they were to have a ship there, they will need to rebuild the 2 bridges they have. So it's absolutely ridiculous.
Wait,
it was interesting though.
There's only one way that this mayor redeems themselves. Does it have the bat symbol in there somewhere?
Unfortunately not. And it doesn't lead you to Rapture or Columbia, so...
Damn.
Yeah, it was frustrating.
It's worthless.
But it was pretty interesting to climb it all the way there. I mean, it was the first time I actually saw Lighthouse myself. But still, by a river, it's like, why? Why would you do that?
Tell me why.
I don't know how high it was, but,
Pretty high. What I should do is every time you say it with enough context for it to be relatable to drugs, I should put like music in the background. But I don't know. That sounds like effort.
Dun, 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 dun.
So yeah, I was climbing this tower. It was pretty high. Just here in the background. No, that wouldn't be the same context at all.
I think we're talking about the same song, but we're not being able to fully describe what it is.
Yeah.
TJ, if you can put like that gif of Snoop Dogg with the hand movements, please. Anyway, now that we've made both of your jobs harder, let's go for another question.
Hey, I'm not doing any more editing. No, I'm joking. I might not do any music editing, no.
Tyler, please.
I don't like risking putting music into it, just in case we get, content ID'd. But we heard that FUPA could help.
Yeah, no one wants to get sued.
Especially us when we make no money from this.
Alright, so the next question is by Sunny8P. And the question is, if you had a device that projected a hologram of clothes on you, would you use it?
No, just purely because I can imagine with all technology, eventually it's either got to die out, or it will glitch or malfunction. Can you imagine how awkward that would be at, like, a job interview or something?
Yeah.
It just glitches out for a fraction of a second and you've literally just flashed, like, the person that you're having an interview with.
Not only that, but if you think about it, public places are pretty fucking disgusting to just walk around naked. Like, I wouldn't sit in a movie theater naked.
Yeah, that would be disgusting. Like, I didn't even think of the hygiene behind it. Like, sitting on a park bench is just...
Oh, Christ.
No.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it, mainly because, number one, things can go wrong. What would happen if someone hacked into it and they were, like, changing it around at whim?
Right?
Fuck. It would have its benefits in certain scenarios. Like...
Wink.
You know exactly what I mean, right? Do you know... Wait.
Like, for sex and doing drugs with your butt.
No. No. Not the second one. But have you seen the film Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I can imagine almost like a holographic version of, like, the scene where he just kind of like throws like all his clothes in one movement to the ground.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine doing that if you had like a costume that's purely holographic, just being like, wait a minute, let me just get ready. Boop, done. That's so weird. Nah, I can't imagine that winning any Kickstarters, if you know what I mean.
I wouldn't do it.
It would be cool if it was just like maybe the t-shirt, but if it's the full costume, then no. Ugh. Then again, that's even worse. Like thinking about the female demographic here, then it won't work, because you're still gonna flash people if it malfunctions.
Yeah, if it glitches out, you're still.
Yeah. That would suck for them. So yeah, nah, not on board. Do we have another question, or should we wrap up?
I mean, we can wrap up. The others here are like, I think it would be better if we had more people to add to the conversation.
Yeah, you don't want to waste all of them on just us two, considering...
And there are two here that are really good. I really want to ask them, but we'll save them for another day. So, everyone, thank you so much for listening.
Question for the audience.
Yes, I know. I was about to get there.
Oh, okay.
You can ask this one, Tyler. Go on. Do it. I double dare you.
Okay. Who is one of your favourite voice actors? Just because we brought up microphones and voice actors quite a few times on today's podcast.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
I want to get more into voice acting as well. Yeah,
you should
maybe
study...
getting...
You're going to hate me, but watch some animes. You would see how some professionals do it right there.
Yeah, I'm trying, like, whenever I have some free time, I go on YouTube and I usually get some behind-the-scenes things for gaming stuff.
Yeah.
And I also found out that Mark Hammil is the fucking best. Dude, that guy is so awesome. I watched, like, 2 interviews he made for, I think it was... Cambridge Union and Oxford Union, I'm not sure, but it was really entertaining. So,
the one thing I was going to say, like, I remember a little while ago, only a couple podcasts back, we suggested that we would do like a private cast with Gaff about Dynasty Warriors, purely on the fact that of how much she knows about some voice actors. We could totally do like a separate voice acting one as well with her, because she's very good at identifying who a voice actor is just from listening to their voices. It's pretty impressive, considering, how talented the voice actors are, how much of a spin they would try to put on their voices. And Gaff's like, oh yeah, that's Vic Mignogna. And you're like, what? It's like, oh, that's Caitlin Glass. It's like, how the fuck do you know?
Yeah, we could do that.
There was one that scared me. Sorry for extending the podcast a little bit, but I feel like I had to bring this up. We were watching Ruby Volume 3, because she hadn't watched it. Like, she only just caught up with it recently. And she said about, like, Cinder's voice, that it needed to be, like, someone a bit more sinister. She didn't think like maybe Jessica Negri was the right role for it. She wanted someone like Laura Bailey. And it made me laugh, because I was like, well, Laura Bailey is in Ruby. She's Amber, the maiden.
Damn, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what fucking freaked me out?
What?
When they... Spoilers for Ruby 3, by the way. When Emerald, Mercury, and Cinder fight Amber, and Amber lets out that little giggle when she approaches, like, Emerald's illusion of that kid on the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gaff pretty much said, that kind of reminds me of Laura Bailey. I was like, there's no way! There's no way that you... There's no way you've nailed it. And... it may have been that we were talking about Laura Bailey like a few episodes beforehand, but like,
yeah, and
I was like, "There's no way that you managed to identify that."
Out of a giggle, holy shit!
It's Laura Bailey's in a lot of things and a lot of good roles too, so we've kind of heard her voice quite a lot.
Still, but identifying that out of a giggle, that's impressive.
Yeah, I remember sitting, like, we were just talking through the Skype chat, and I just couldn't, like, react. I didn't want to react when she was like, she only typed, like, that giggle. That was it. When she typed it, I was like, she couldn't have. It was like, damn. Anyway, yeah, voice acting splurge over. We were wrapping up.
Let us know who is your favorite voice actor or actress. And shout out to Gav.
Hey, I'm going to say Gaff's version of Yamada gets her in the top 10 of that voice acting list. Mainly because we forced her to do that role, and she still managed to do it.
And did it very well, actually.
Yeah. I couldn't do it.
I did watch the anime, not entirely, but I watched like half of it. Man, it just fits really well.
Yeah. I just couldn't do it. Like, if someone told me to be that kind of character, like, I would need absolute privacy to give it my all. And she did it when, like, the family was still around. Damn. Anyway, let's continue. Or finish. Or whatever we do.
Everyone, thank you so much for listening. So don't forget to let us know your answer. Oh, actually, wait. We do have answers from the audience.
How long have we had an answer from the audience, by the way? Like, it feels like it's been forever.
Like 1 or 2 weeks, I guess. And nice. I completely forgot, and I apologize. But, we get so very few of them that, sorry.
No wonder why they don't do it.
Hey, shut up. So this one was sent by Sunny8p, and it's a question from podcast number 103, and the question was actually asked by Gav, and it was tuna or salmon. So Sunny answered salmon, preferably as a fillet, smoked, not baked or cooked, with some veggies and a nice sauce drizzled over it, and a little bit of butter bread would be nice. Alright, so Sunny's answer made me hungry.
Is that why you want to end the podcast now? You're like, I'm going to get some salmon. Going to smoke it a little bit.
Well, not salmon, but I'm going to go grab something to eat. Alright, so again, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to listen to the outro to find out how to interact with us. And until next week, go have some salmon.
Or tuna. Tuna.
Tuna.
That's how you say that word, not tuna. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Shifty Key Podcast. The intro and outro music is provided to us by our editor, TDBTyler. To get more involved with the Shifty Key Podcast, you can answer the questions for the audience asked by our guests, or even ask the cast a question of your very own, either here in the YouTube comments or in our Rooster Teeth group. To keep updated with this channel's shenanigans, you can follow us on Twitter, join and watch our group on Rooster Teeth, or simply subscribe. All links will be in the description. Until next week, goodbye.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I was going to
say
recommend...
Tyler the tuna guy, but yes.
I was going to recommend something for you. You said you were getting hungry on the podcast. Bring bread with you. Just like a random slice of bread.
What?
Because it's filling. No, just bring bread with you and eat it, like, while you're in the podcast, because it doesn't...
Oh, okay.
Yes. I was like, what do you mean, when? I was like, what?
Whenever you come to England, bring bread.
No, when you come to do the podcast, like, bring bread, because it's like, for a start, it's not something that, as long as you're not eating it mid-sentence, it's not something that kind of, like, is grubby for your mouth, like eating cheese and shit, or crackers or biscuits. They kind of get stuck up in your teeth and stuff like that. Bread probably actually helps with that kind of stuff, with vocal stuff, and it fills you up. So that's something I started doing from today. Yay.
Yeah, I'll do that next time.
I've also been eating tuna more. I feel like the end of this podcast became heavily relevant to Gav by accident.
Pro tip, eat tuna, not tuna.
Yeah, after I was like, tuna, I'm now like, I've kind of changed my diet a little bit, so I'm eating it more, and it's grown on me. I don't know if it's either grown on me, or I just didn't like it as a kid, and now I like it.
Tuna.
Well, don't you have that with some foods where you're like, I hated this as a kid, but now it's actually pretty good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like tuna might have been one of them that I just put off for a really long time.
Hey,
I don't know.
I feel like there's only one proper way we can end this podcast.
Is it if it's relevant to doing drugs with your butt, then no. I'm not interested.
You ready?
Oh, for crying out loud. You're going to say the word, aren't you?
Tit.
And I'm going to talk over it so it's not the last word.
God damn it, tit.
No, not yet.
Tit.